Last month, I showed you the most depressing country I've been to, North Korea. I showed you their missiles, their soldiers, and their people. And that made me cry, and many of you cry. North Korea is depressing. But in the world, there are two Koreas, not one. So what about South Korea? What do people do there? To answer that question, I visited South Korea. And what I saw there will make you unexpectedly happy because it is undepressing. Just look at the way they protest. See, in the rest of the world, protests get easily violent. They easily turn into riots and clashes and weapons. But not in Korea. In 2018, I witnessed a rare Korean protest, and I was surprised by how peaceful it was.
This is a protest.
South Koreans went to the street in the millions to protest against their president using candles, street parties, flags, and inflatable sharks. Not weapons or violence. And after a few weeks of protests, they succeeded. And the president was removed from office peacefully. This was a revolution of candles. To this day, I am inspired by their protests, and I am even more inspired by what they did 20 years ago. The following is another true story. In 1998, the Korean government was running out of money. They owed billions of dollars in loans, and the government couldn't pay them back. And that is when the Korean people stepped in. I kid you not, millions of citizens donated their own money to the government. They collected their gold, their necklaces, their rings and personal belongings and gave them to the government voluntarily so they could pay back national debt.
My parents gave away 3 rings to save the country from the national debt.
I mean, who would do such a thing for their country? Not I, not you, but the Korean people did. They paid their national debt as a community, and 20 years later, they built an amazing country with world-class medical systems, world-class smart cities, and world-class technology companies. That's why today there's a little bit of Korean technology in your pocket right now. At the end of the day, North Korea is still depressing, but it can change, and it can become a country with peaceful protests, strong community, and smart technology. One day, North Korea can be as good as South Korea. See you next week.